Hi, guys. So today we're talking about detachment and letting go. Now, I'm sure you've seen probably a million videos about these topics and how each person tells you a different way to let go or detach, or how much detachment improves your life, how much once you detach, everything starts chasing you. But really thinking about it, it's very hard to take advice from a person who already detached from something and finally everything started to flow within their lives because that person has already went through the process and they finally found out the way to break free from this attachment. And the reality is each one of us has a different way where we can detach and let go of things. So right now, it's really nice to hear from different people their stories, how much they struggled with holding on to certain things, but once they truly let go and they broke free from this cycle of attachment and they finally started living their lives and everything started to work out in the best way possible for them. It's really nice to listen to their advice as an inspiration and guidance, but each one of us has a different way in which we detach because as you can see, each one of us may give you a different advice on how you can detach and let go of something. So today we're diving deep into why is detachment very hard. Okay, so we're going to talk about these feelings that we go through during this type of situation, and obviously what ways can we possibly deal with them in a way that we can find how to break free from this cycle. Okay, there's no right and wrong, and there's not a clear path towards detaching from something, but there are certain emotions we go through that we can probably understand better to know how we can find out the right way for us to completely let go of these things that we are holding on to. So basically, obviously, we all have something that we really want in life. We try everything, we work hard towards it, we put everything probably on hold to make this thing come true. And this is the main reason why we sometimes cannot let go of something. It's because inside of us, we just want it so much. We do not understand what other alternative can be better than what we want. And we do not give ourselves the chance to be open towards different things, or different opportunities because our brain is holding on to something and our energy is fully focused onto this thing. And we kind of program ourselves in a way that if this thing does not happen, then I will never be happy. Or if this thing does not happen, then my life will not move forward. So, usually, when we're attached to something, these are the thoughts that go through our minds. And sometimes you may be aware of that cycle. You are aware that I am holding on too much to this thing and that I need to let go of it. And you start like talking to yourself and training your mind that, okay, you should let go of this thing. Be open, have have a great look at the opportunities in front of you, the things around you. Maybe you will find something better. You will find something that will probably give you the same result as this thing that you want. But the reality is, as much as you talk yourself into it, you will not be able to fully apply it because you do not believe in it. Because when you are attached to something, especially if it has been a long time, you have been dreaming of this thing, that person, that friendship, that job, that country, whatever it is. If you have been focused on it for a long time, it becomes so hard to break free of it because that's the only thing that was on your mind throughout this period of time. Anything that happens within your life, you still think of that goal. You still think of this thing and in what ways you can incorporate into your life right now. And obviously, that's something that's very common, all of us go through it. But most of us, unfortunately, cannot really find our ways to break free from that cycle. You may ask it right now, like, in what way can I find myself to break free from this? So, as I said, everyone has a different path, and when you detach from something, there's a certain way that you need to follow that works for you, because not all of us have the same way in detachment. So, but the thing that does help the most when you are thinking about something, look at yourself when you are thinking about it and when you are working towards it. How do you feel? You know what I mean? Most of the times, when something has to be detached from, you feel drained. Whenever you think of it, negative emotions come up because this because this thing is not happening. It's not coming in. Um, I'm believing it. I'm affirming it. I'm trying to put in the work to get to it, but it's just not coming in. So usually, when you find yourself in this position, you are feeling drained when you think of this thing. You are feeling tired. You're feeling sad, and whenever you put the work into it, you feel like you have to put it in. You're not doing it naturally, or you do not, let's say, get up every day and think of it like, yes, this is something that I feel resonates well with me and I am working towards it. So usually when you feel these emotions about certain something, that's your first signal that this thing has to go away from your life. You have to detach from it. And a misconception a lot of people have about detachment is that when you detach from this thing, it's because it's not meant for you. And that's not true. Because when you're talking about detachment is when something is holding up a lot of space in your mind, in your energy, and in your heart, to the point that you're not welcoming anything else to come in. Sometimes you block a lot of blessings or you block a lot of opportunities because you are so focused on that thing. And sometimes these opportunities that are blocked are probably going to lead you to that thing. So when we're talking about detachment, this thing does not necessarily mean it's not meant for you. Okay? And it also does not necessarily mean that it is meant for you. Each situation is different. Each person, it's different. You know, um, once you start applying detachment to it and you start living your life, giving time to this process of detachment and looking into its results, this will show you whether this thing is meant for you or not. But detachment is not limited to tell you that this thing is not meant for you, or that once you detach from it, it will start chasing you. This is also a misconception because when you detach from something, it does not start chasing you because you let go of it. No. The reason why it sometimes comes back into your life, it's because you are detaching from the way it should come in. You know what I mean? Because another part, when we are holding on to something, it's because we think that this outcome is what I need into my life. And when we hold on to it, we start thinking of a plan or things or ways on how this thing is supposed to come in. So, on top of holding on to this thing, you are holding on to a way in which it's supposed to happen. Once you move forward in life, you will understand that this type of mindset is not very helpful to you because it's very draining when you have a certain thing in your mind and you start following it and start believing in it that this is the only way I'll achieve this thing. And in many times in life we do get disappointed because, as we mentioned before, there are uncertain situations and detours that may happen within your life that will deviate you from this path. And that's why you feel demotivation and you feel sad and you lose your passion in this thing. So this type of mindset that I have to go through this way or that this thing has to come in this way, you have to try to change it. You have to let it go because whatever whatever is meant for you will find you. Okay? The thing is, you do not have to control the way it should find you. You know, trust that you are guided, in whatever way. Whatever you feel like gives you guidance, whether that's your faith in God, whether that's the energy of the universe, whether that's the people around you, you have guidance. Your life is planned out in the best way possible. Whatever is meant to happen will happen at the right time, at the right place, and exactly when you need it. So that's why when we detach from something, sometimes it comes in into our lives because we let go of the idea that it has to come in this way or it's supposed to come at this time. So when you finally let go of that, you kind of take off pressure from yourself and this thing that you are chasing. And so you give the chance to God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, to apply their plan to let this thing come into your life flawlessly. That's why it can easily come in once you detach. And that's also the reason why it does not happen once you detach, because sometimes the things that you are holding on to the most, that you feel like will give you the most happiness, can turn out to be the worst experiences you will ever have in your life. So once you understand the idea that I do not know if this thing is meant for me or it's not meant for me, it becomes easier to detach from it, because you have in the back of your mind that no, I may not necessarily achieve happiness from this thing. You know what I mean? So you detach from it, and sometimes it just starts slipping away. That just shows you that it wasn't meant for you, and that you are wasting a lot of your energy and your time holding on to something that is probably not meant for you. So the next time you are holding on to something, genuinely ask yourself, what will I gain from it? You know what I mean? If it happened, will my life change dramatically to the best, or it may also change to the worse? Always keep these both scenarios in your mind, because it's always a 50-50% chance of the good thing happening and the bad thing happening. This makes it easier for you to analyze your situation. It makes it easier for you to understand why you are holding on to this. You know what I mean? And once you slowly start understanding this, your mind naturally will start detaching from it. You will naturally, of course, this it's encouraged by, let's say, having meditation, and when you sit down with your thoughts and you quiet your mind, and you do not have any constraints on yourself by saying that I'm supposed to do this or I'm supposed to do that, or this thing is supposed to come in that way. You just let your mind roam freely and think freely. That also helps in your detachment process, because you're letting your brain work freely. You're not draining it. You're not telling it to think a certain way. You know what I mean? And once you start following this process, you will start finding detachment a lot easier. And detachment does not happen once in our life, it can happen more than once. Each time may be different, and each time you practice it. So, the first time you detach is actually the most precious one, because that's the first lesson you have when you break free of something that is holding you back. And you will start applying all the techniques and everything you learned over the next phases in your life, in case you ever attach yourself to something again in another phase of your life. And the funny thing about detachment is that it does not happen, let's say, consciously. You know what I mean? It's not like you think of it and it happens. No, it's a cycle. It slowly starts happening. You slowly start thinking less about this thing. You slowly start to notice the opportunities in your life. You slowly start taking steps that you wouldn't take before, because it would contradict that goal. So once you see yourself starting to take these steps, you will realize that you are slowly moving in the process of detachment. You are slowly welcoming the things that are meant for you. And once you let yourself feel every phase without judging it or controlling it, many things will start happening in your life that you never expected them to. Many things will start to appear randomly, because you are finally letting go of this control or this attachment towards certain outcomes. No, you are letting yourself to experience, to live, basically. So I hope that today in this video, I inspired you to finally take back control of your life. And I hope you can share your stories with me in the comments, and let's connect over them. And I'll see you next time. Bye.